Welcome back, viewers, to another news hour on Jamono Media and Products. We first begin with our headlines. Two arrested over death of the child in the Bob Keita's trial. Child Protection Alliance calls for investigation into child's death. High Court Assistant Bali finally arrested. Those were the headlines. We now have the news in detail. Police have arrested two persons over the unexplained death of a 2-year-old child who is at the center of dramatic rape trial involving famous youth activist Boubacar Keita. The businessman is being tried for the alleged rape of his ex-wife's underage sister, resulting in a pregnancy in 2019. He denied the charges. The child died last week, days after the court ordered for his blood sample, that of the accused person and suspected boyfriend of his mother, to be taken for a DNA test. The police yesterday disclosed that the death of the said child under negligent circumstances. They have opened a swift probe into the circumstances surrounding the incident with a view to prosecuting all individuals found wanting in the death. Facts reveal that on Sunday, 3rd July 2022, between 16 o'clock hours and 17 o'clock hours at Brusubi in the West Coast region, the child Muhammad was left inside a vehicle unattended with doors and windows locked. Due to lack of ventilation, the child passed out and was rushed to Afrimet Clinic, then to Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital, and then to Dakar on Monday, 4th July 2022, where he died eventually, the police said in a statement. The police said the escort of the body, Siena Mumbai, has been contacted in Dakar to expedite her return with the body of the child for autopsy and for the medical examination to be carried out. But according to the police, she is yet to return, prompting them to initially contact through Interpol Senegal to swiftly facilitate her return to the Gambia. According to the police, a number of lines of injuries were instituted and two people, Chernambai and Kibili Dembele, were arrested for their role or involvement in the incident leading to the death of the child. A visit was also conducted to the family house of Siena Mumbai, Bob Keita's ex-wife, while several witnesses were interviewed and their statements recorded. The police is hereby assured that all necessary measures will be taken to ensure the incident preceding the death of the child is diligently investigated and individuals found wanting shall face the full force of the law. The public is further reminded to continue exercising restraint and never must they take the law into their own hands, the police statement said. The Child Protection Alliance has expressed dismay over the circumstances surrounding the death of one Muhammad, the child at the center of Boubacar Keita's rape trial. The boy was left unattended to a locked car for nearly 4 hours. He later developed complications and eventually died in the hospital in Dakar, Senegal. In a statement shared with the Standard, Child Protection Alliance said they are of the considered view that the circumstances surrounding the death of Muhammad are scanty. To this end, Child Protection Alliance wishes to call on the concerned authorities to immediately and thoroughly investigate the matter and bring the perpetrators to book, especially where foul play is established. Child Protection Alliance is equally concerned with the publication of videos and images of the deceased child with the victim mother on social media platforms. This may constitute a violation of the laws protecting the rights of the children. They therefore call on the public to desist from exposing children who are victims of crime to further harm or degrading treatment through their publications. The statement added, it is important to note that Child Protection Alliance has been keenly monitoring the ongoing rape case against Mr. Boubacar Keita. Finally, they want to remind the government of its primary duty as enshrined in Article 66 A and B of the Child Act 2005 towards the safeguarding, protecting and promoting the welfare of children. Bakari Sarr, High Court assistant by leave, was finally arrested by Commissioner A. Sane, prosecuting officer, and brought before the Kanifing Magistrate Court on the 18th July 2022. This followed the plea of Prosecutor Sane for the court to give him a week to send a task force to arrest Mr. Sarr, who is charged with fraud and obtaining money by false pretense. The accused was expected to open his defense after the prosecution had closed their case, and he did so on the 18th July 2022 before Justice Aissatou Janenjai of the High Court at Kanifing. In his testimony, he told the court that he was introduced to the complainant by one Lamin Dabo. He posited that after the introduction, the complainant expressed his interest to buy a land which is situated at Sukuta and it belongs to one Lamin Drame. The complainant paid him $500,000 and he gave him a receipt. He promised to give him a title deed, but after several follow-ups, he could not give him a title deed. As a result, he reported him to the police and he was charged with fraud and obtaining money by false pretense, he testified. He further called the court that he has 3 witnesses to testify on his behalf. The case was subsequently adjourned to the 26th of July 2022. He was warned by Justice Janenjai that if he failed to appear in court on the adjourned date, she would revoke his bail. Those were the stories for our today's news bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, let's take a recap on our top stories. 2 arrested over death of the child in the Bob Keita's trial. Child Protection Alliance calls for investigation into child's death. High Court Assistant Balief finally arrested. Those were the stories. Thank you for joining us with your presenter, Maria McGillen. Do have a nice day.